It looks like sky's the limit for India as India reach a 2-0 victory in the T20 against New Zealand after what can be described as a blistering run chase, chasing down New Zealand's 208 in only 15.2 overs. Catching mistakes from New Zealand, the Kiwis were dead and buried, and India looked to shine bright, assailing a 2-0 lead again. Join me and Amit, Two Halves, Two Innings Cricket, where we discuss the first two T20s in this incredible rivalry between New Zealand and India. Hi there, guys, and welcome to another episode of Two Halves and Two Innings. We're missing Rohit today, and I'm sure he would be jumping up and down at the sight of seeing India chase down over 200 runs in only 15.2 overs. Amit, how was your initial reaction to this spectacle that we saw of this second T20?
Just before we go into that, Ajay, I think Rohit is still celebrating Arsenal's striker scoring some goals in the Champions League. So I think he's still running around doing a celebration. That's why he's not able to join us today. So Rohit, when you've calmed down, come join us and we'll bring you back down to reality when Manchester United hammer the living daylights out of you. Anyway, back to the cricket. Yeah, Ajay, yeah, brilliant. I mean, India's bowling performance in the second T20 I thought was absolutely shocking. Arshdeep, oh my God, he was getting smacked all over the place. I don't know if it was a dew factor or whatever, but that's why Sky decided to bowl first, field first. But honestly, I mean, I think he went for 50 plus in his 4 overs. Shocking.
I think this was definitely a game not for the bowling.
Side. Honestly, yeah. Well, all fielding actually, to be fair.
Yeah, that's paradise, this one. But honestly, you know what? It's good to see Sky get some runs.
Yeah,
and I think he needed that more than anything. I think, you know what, he put in the New Zealand side. The fielding side was in the shade, trying to hide from that blistering, absolute, so much heat from Sky's bat there. And honestly, and you know what? He made it look so effortless. And it was fantastic. Honestly, I've not seen hitting like this since I gave my mum and dad my year 9 report card. Like, honestly, it was going all over the gaff. And honestly, Ishan Kishan as well.
Oh, he was good. It's good to see him back as well. Yeah.
So I mean, let's do this constructively. So obviously, we didn't review the first T20, so we've obviously got to talk about that first. And that was in Nagpur on Wednesday. And India lost the toss, and obviously New Zealand did decide to bowl first. And Sanju Samson as an opener, he's only made 10 runs in the first innings. And again, failed to kind of make a good total in this second T20. So how do you feel, India's opening partnership has been in these two T20s?
I mean, Abhishek was amazing in the first one. He just kind of is blistering as normal. He got 84, but this one he got 0. So
he got 0.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a young guy, and I think we forget that he's just got such maturity, with the bat normally. But Sanju Samson is quite an interesting one, really, because obviously he's coming as a wicket-keeper batsman. Yet there is obviously Ishan Kishan who can do that role as well. In terms of opening, I mean, who else would you put in there? I'm just trying to think, and my mind's still...
Well, it's kind of either Gill, or you can look at
Gill.
The likes of Jaiswal.
Yeah, but then they're not in the...
up to too many left-hand batsmen.
But then Gill's not... I can't remember if Jaiswal, but Gill's not in the T20 squad, isn't he, for the World Cup? So I can't remember. Jaiswal's not in the T20 squad either, is he?
No. So
yeah, I mean, I think we discussed this before when we were discussing the ODI series. I think we just need to this needs to be our balanced team now. I know there's obviously Aksa wasn't playing in this game because of injury, but I think we just need to with the T20 World Cup literally around the corner. I don't think we've got time to start messing about and making a big change in there. Just go. If they decided that Samson and Abhishek are opening, then just go with it and just kind of give them that confidence and understanding to play with each other, the real time experience. And New Zealand, they're not a bad team. They're a bloody good team. They've unfortunately beaten us in the Test series and the ODIs for the first time. And although I said jokingly on our group chat that this is Goti's series, and rightly so, you brought me either you or Rohit brought me back down to earth and said, well, this is only the game 1. We've still got a few more games to go, so let's not get carried away. But it's 2-0 now, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, T20 is obviously a bit harder to kind of predict because it can all depend on the pitch, who wins the toss, and kind of 1 over, 2 overs can decide the whole game. If someone goes for 20, 30 runs, and we saw that with Zach with Folks getting absolutely blistered and hammered. Honestly, his economy looked like it would deserve to be an ODI type of bowling figures as opposed to a T20. So, but again, in terms of what you talked about with Sanju Samson, I have a feeling that obviously, Shreyas Iyer is waiting in the helm as well. He's waiting in the side of the dugout. So obviously he could be.
He was not opening though, is he? Then you'd have to shuffle it back, wouldn't you?
Maybe, but there could be an opportunity for him. Again, in T20, there's always kind of, we've seen Virat kind of transition from number 4, number 3 with RCB into opening as well. So Shreyas could maybe move from 3 to opening, because in T20 it's not going to be much about settling in. It's just about seeing off the new ball, and you just want to kind of start off with a good pace. Obviously, if the 2 openers, obviously they went out for 6 runs, we were 6 for 2 at one point, so that wasn't very good. But luckily, Ishan Kishan and obviously Suryakumar started off really well. Just with regards to the bowling lineup, were you a bit surprised to not see Bumrah in the second?
Again, are they? Yes, but then are they saving him? You just don't know, do you? I mean, I suppose now. I mean, how many games is this series? Is it 5?
There's 5, yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose play him in the next one, then rest him for the last 2 if they win the next one, I'd say, and then just get him fresh for the World Cup. I'd say protect him. I mean, it's so they obviously are protecting him. We don't know what the depth of his kind of fitness is, or kind of if there's any underlying injuries or so. But we do need to protect him. He's our best death bowler. Although he didn't have a great first game, to be fair. I don't think he took any wickets, and he was quite expensive on the economy rate.
Yeah, it was.
But I think it's just that fear factor, really.
Yeah, you kind of look at it with any bowling attack with just Bumrah in it. The opposition are going to be a bit scared, and maybe attack different bowlers as well. I mean, if we looked at the first game, Aksa didn't do particularly well with his 3.3 overs. He went for 42, so obviously a 12 economy there, and the likes of Hardik Pandya as well for his 2 overs. But one thing I would like to say, and I think a good revelation that's come out of this series, even in previous ones, is the likes of Shivam Dubey. I think he's actually done really well to kind of grow and mature a little bit. I think he's obviously got a new haircut as well that might have helped him, but a new stylist, and I think he gives us that kind of extra all-rounder. Medium pacer, but then good left-arm batsman. So he really controlled the game, and I really liked seeing him today. And even in the first innings of the first game, he didn't do particularly well with the bat, but with the ball, he was quite good as well. So he got 2 wickets.
2 wickets, 3 overs.
So it's not too bad. So I think he's quite handy. Again, the question comes into, Harshit Rana, where does he fit into this T20 squad? Because kind of like, would you want him because of the fact that he can bat as well, or would you rather sacrifice him for an Arshdeep or a Bumrah? That's going to be the question, I think. Because if you looked at this team, it was very balanced, but where do you fit then? Bumrah, where would he come in?
Well, I mean, Bumrah's the best bowler. Rohit said in the last podcast that he feels he's the best Indian bowler of all time across all 3 formats. And I think, although he's not as probably as he was before, I think just he needs to play. He needs to play he should be one of the first names on the team sheet. Although it appears that Harshit Rana seems to be the first name on Guti's team sheet. It's actually quite funny, really, because of kind of the association with Guti and the amount of stick that we've kind of given that alliance. When he came on, I thought, oh, here we go. And he took a wicket on the first ball in this game, I think.
Yeah. So, well, I think he went for 0 runs in the first over, and then he went for like 16 in the second over. So again, it shows the inconsistency with T20. But that's just the question, because obviously the likes of Rinku Singh, would he then sacrifice his kind of role if you want to put another bowler in for this World Cup coming up? Again, it depends on the situation in the field, I guess, in the pitch.
I mean, if you look at the first game, Ajay, I mean, I'm just looking at the scorecard. We had 7 bowlers bowled. Obviously, Abhishek Sharma only bowled 3 balls. It must have been an injury to Akshar Patel. So say 6 bowlers bowled. And that's a lot, And Pandya only bowled 2, Bumrah bowled 3, Dubey bowled 3. So, and again, I think this innings, this match as well. Again, there's a variety of. So maybe is he testing see what he needs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's always that flexibility required, and I suppose you need someone who can change the game because you don't have much time, do you?
No, you don't. You need to bring on somebody who can give you a wicket. I think Arshdeep, you kind of guaranteed in the first over of his spell, he gets a wicket, more or less 9 times out of 10. So I think he's a shoo-in, definitely. It's just that I think the question is going to be between Harshit Rana and then the likes of Jasprit, and then would they sacrifice a batsman if they want to have more attacking prowess in the bowling? But then obviously the likes of Shivam Dube, Hardik Pandya, they can bowl quite well, so they'll have
I
to
think.
balance that out really well. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, I think you can't sacrifice a batsman for a bowler. It's got to be an all rounder if you're going to do that. And the fact is, obviously, bowlers, I think they've got to expect that the mentality of the T20 game, they're going to get smacked a little bit. So it's about those who can get smacked the least or take wickets. Okay, and I think we've got that with Burma, we've got that with Ashdeep, we've got that with Chakravarti, we've seems to have got that with Dubey. Pandey's not had a great start to this series, but again, I think I think he's probably at the moment a genuine all rounder across all
He's our number
formats
one all rounder,
potentially.
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, across all formats, he is our number one. Obviously, Jadeja is still in the T20 format, so ODI format. So I think you've got four kind of bowlers there, really, or kind of combination there. So just who the fifth one would be, just in case they are getting smacked.
True. Looking at New Zealand, then, it's kind of interesting when you look at New Zealand's squad. It pretty much looks like everyone can bowl and bat as well, except for just the wicketkeeper. So I think they were using almost like not everybody for bowling, but they used 6 bowlers in this last game that we just had. And again, one was, again, like I told you about, Zach Folt, but an economy of 22.3 from his 3 overs, 67 runs he gave away. And then after that was Matt Henry with 41 runs. I think, did New Zealand just miss a trick, or was it just, again, the fact that India won the toss and decided to bat second? Did the pitch and the dew factor, like you said, did that kind of help India a bit to make it a better batting surface in the second innings?
I mean, the thing is, Ajay, I think it's quite difficult to read too much into this series because the World Cup is being held in India and Sri Lanka. So, again, it's a chance for teams. Well, in this situation, New Zealand, they've probably had an advantage for them that they've got a away series to India in the T20 format with the World Cup around the corner. So there's a chance for them to maybe try and find their kind of ideal combinations. I mean, Satna, I think he was brilliant with the bat today, wasn't he? He's their captain. But there's some poor fielding from New Zealand today. I think I think Abhishek, was it Abhishek? No.
Samson, I think Sanju
Samson
was dropped on the boundary.
6, and then he got out for the next ball, and then there's so many kind of misfields there, which you don't normally associate that with the kind of the New Zealand team, do you? So
no, exactly, yeah. Especially with the likes of Glenn Phillips, who's an acrobat, in really good positions, So he sets the standard for New Zealand. But yeah, there was a drop catch as well for Suryakumar Yadav, and that kind of was kind of bad. And I think there was another one as well that
proved to be expensive.
Proved to be expensive, yeah, exactly. So missed catches, and even in India, their fielding, I thought as well, they could have been a bit more sharper in the field and maybe gave away a few runs as well and boundaries. But again, this is the pace of T20. It's very quick. It's very physical on both the bowlers and batsmen and the fielders as well. And I thought it was just an incredible game to just see I think India just absolutely destroyed New Zealand with the batting. I felt like New Zealand bowlers were just like they were practicing net sessions, and India were just smacking them out of the park. It was crazy.
And when you put it into context as well, Ajay, as you said earlier on in the podcast, like when you consider at one point we were 2 down in the first few overs, and then to finish on 209 for 3 after 15.2, so he still had another 4.8 overs, 4.4 overs to go. That's a lot.
I mean,
it could have been 250, 260 easily.
That's what I mean. I think if India batted first, I would have loved to seen that. I think we could have made nearly 300 at that one point. But yeah, like I said, that Ishan, Surya, and Shivam both striking over 200. That's incredible. So and that's what T20 is all about. You just kind of need 2 or 3 set batsmen to get good scores, and you really put the pressure on. It helps with the chasing in the game. So you know what, it looks positive. Do you think in the third T20, do you think that they might change up, or do you think they're just going to stick with this particular starting 11?
The only thing I would change up is I would maybe make Ishan wicketkeeper, and put him at opener with Abhishek, and then try Shreyas as number 3. That's the only change I would say. And maybe obviously bring Jesse back.
Yeah, I think potentially they could do. I mean, it's I think the next game is going to be in Guwahati. So,
the Rinku Singh might feel a bit down though. He had a great first game, and then obviously I don't know if he was rested or injured. He didn't play this one, so but who does he replace? Harshit Rana.
That's the question. Yeah, it must be someone like Harshit Rana then, or it must be maybe Arshdeep who might get the fall. But I don't see how that's going to happen. I mean, Kuldeep Yadav as well. He's kind of gone for a few runs as well and not had the best ODI series as well. So there's going to be question marks for him. And obviously, can he?
He got a couple of wickets there, didn't he?
He did well, but I think he's just not as effective, I would say, as he has been previously, in other games. But yeah, I think his economy. So he went for, Kuldeep had 2 wickets but 35. So I mean, to be fair, not too bad either. So he had a better game than compared to the first T20. But yeah, I think if you're going to put Jesse in, it's going to most likely then look like it's going to be Harshit Rana or maybe Arshdeep, because like you said, Arshdeep went for quite a lot of runs in this T20.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I feel for him though, because he's not had I mean, obviously they're managing Bumrah, so that's understandable. With Arshdeep though, he's so in and out of the game. He's in one game out the other. It's very difficult for him to kind of build. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is in a T20 format, but it's very difficult for him to build kind of consistency, I'd say.
Definitely, and it must knock his confidence as well. I mean, we saw even in the England series, kind of at times thinking like he should be in, and he didn't really get much of a shoe in, and in other formats, in other series as well. So I don't know with Arshdeep, it's always a tricky one. I think we're quite fan favourites of him, because he just offers that bit more variety. He kind of has that Zahir Khan style of bowling where you can kind
left arm as well, isn't he?
And he's good for left arm batsmen. I mean, he can bowl to them really well. But looking at the likes of like Shivam Dubey, how he was bowling today, it was really quite good to see that, and how he picked up a wicket as well. So you know what, I think it was honestly a very good T20 game for India. But I think the biggest and spiciest news, I don't know if you wanted to touch on it, obviously, regarding the T20 World Cup, is possibly the omission of Bangladesh away from this. There was obviously a vote, and I think only the Pakistan Cricket Board, the PCB, were the ones siding with Bangladesh, saying that they should play their games either in Sri Lanka or a different venue. And it looks like the ICC looks like, I think have they denied their motion?
Well, I think so. I mean, my understanding is that the latest was that they're still Bangladesh is still refusing to play in India because they're citing security fears. Although the organisation that risks kind of security, or whatever, they've graded it low. So, you can understand their frustration, because obviously India have been allowed to participate in tournaments which are held in Pakistan and not play there. But Vikrant Gupta, who's quite vocal, very experienced sports presenter within India, he made a valid point. Because people are saying, "Oh, this is just the power of the BCCI," and he said rightly. I think he made a really good post on LinkedIn. He said that he said that's just the world. Donald Trump. He's the powerhouse. America, the powerhouse in the world, and they get kind of they call the shots. That's just the nature of the world. Whether you agree with it or not, I mean, we're not a political podcast, so I'm not going into the point. But I'm just kind of saying, I just thought, he made a very, very valid point there. Again, as I said, whether it's fair or not, I don't know. But it's at the end of the day, the Bangladesh team have got to do what they feel is right for them and their players. And but they've said because I think one of the is it Mustafa?
Yeah,
I think
he's not
playing for Kolkata
IPL now, so he's been.
Yeah, and then subsequently since then as well, Bangladesh government has said that they're not going to show the IPL in Bangladesh as well. So it's getting into a bit of a political minefield, which unfortunately these things happen. But it's we'll leave it to the politicians to decide what they feel is right. But I mean, it'd be good for the Scots, because if Bangladesh do decide not to participate, then I think Scotland have got a
golden ticket,
buy into the World Cup. So yeah, they have. So what a potential year for the Scots. They've made it into the Cricket World Cup and also the Football World Cup.
So yeah, potentially that might be something that might be the outcome of it. And obviously, when we look at the past, obviously with the Champions Trophy, it is a bit sad to see politics mixing with sports. I think obviously the two should be separate. And generally, if the risk is being kind of assessed by security forces or intelligence and said there's no risk or minimal risk to the Bangladesh team, then I think from Bangladesh they're just maybe spitting out the dummy and trying to make a mountain out of a mole situation. Obviously, tensions are arising between India and Bangladesh. Obviously, in the local news and when you look into Indian newspapers. But again, this is sport. This is cricket. It's got nothing to do with that. So obviously, that's my point of view, that they should be separate, and the game should play, respectively between two nations. Obviously, India have general, concerns when it comes to playing in Pakistan. There are general threats there, but obviously the decision was made to play in Dubai, and we have to stand by that. But yeah, and it looks like India under-19s are going to be playing New Zealand under-19s tomorrow. So we're going to hope that the India under-19 team can beat New Zealand. And Amit, I want you to tell me, so now on the third T20, what's your prediction for India and New Zealand?
Ajay, come on, it's always going to be India.
I have to ask.
You do 3-0 India. Then let's bring the big guns back. 3-0 India. Then let's get them rested for the fourth game, and then bring everyone back for the fifth, ready to take the World Cup by storm and defend our title. Come on, India!
Come on, India. Right, guys, that was our little segment on the T20 series between India and New Zealand. So join us as we review the third T20, or possibly the fourth T20 at the same time, depends on how busy our calendar is. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to us. And please do like, comment, and most importantly, please do subscribe if you're liking our content, and give us your prediction on how the rest of this T20 matches are going to go. Until then, thank you, and we're going to catch you on the next one. Take care.
Take care.